You know how cute I always thought you were? I think you're so sexy. Will you come to me?
Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt were Hollywood's golden couple, a dream pairing that had the world swooning. But behind the red carpet smiles and glitzy magazine covers, cracks were forming, and their fairy tale romance was far from perfect. Now, years later, Jennifer is finally opening up, revealing a deeper, more complicated truth behind their split, one that goes beyond the media's favorite narrative of Angelina Jolie. What went wrong between Hollywood's beloved duo, and why did Jennifer hold back for so long before exposing Brad's hidden secrets? But before we get into the video, why don't you take a second and subscribe to our channel? Jennifer's journey. Before Brad.
In a recent interview with the New York Times, the actress reminisced about a past love the world knows little about. Her ex-boyfriend, actor Daniel McDonald.
Before she became a household name, she experienced one of her first great loves with actor Daniel McDonald. This wasn't just a fling, it was a deep, heartfelt relationship that lasted from 1990 to 1995, right on the edge of her career breakout. Jennifer has often referred to Daniel as her first love, and you can tell just how significant he was to her by the way she talked about him. In a 2015 interview, she even hinted at a bit of regret, saying that she may not have been ready for that level of commitment back then. Their paths eventually went separate ways, but her connection to him stayed strong. When Daniel tragically passed away in 2007, Jennifer expressed genuine sorrow, reflecting on how much he'd meant to her and how formative those years had been for her. It was a chapter in her life that taught her about love's depth and the vulnerability that comes with it. After her relationship with Daniel ended, Jennifer was ready to explore new connections, but fame was beginning to follow her every move. In 1995, she had a brief yet memorable fling with Counting Crows frontman Adam Duritz. Their story is actually kind of amusing. They were set up by mutual friends, each led to believe the other had a crush. It turned out that Adam didn't even know who she was at the time, as friends hadn't yet made her a superstar. Their time together was short and sweet, and Adam only had kind words to say about Jennifer, calling her funny, kind, and stunning. Although it didn't last, this little romance showed Jennifer how quickly her personal life was becoming a magnet for public fascination.
You okay?
I'm more than okay. I am really, really happy. Wanna know why?
Do I?
Because I am really happy about us.
Then came Tate Donovan. If there was any serious relationship before Brad, this was it. Jennifer and Tate started dating in 1995, around the same time that her star was rapidly rising with the success of Friends. From the beginning, they had a strong connection, and you could see that they genuinely cared for each other. Tate even guest starred on Friends, and you can imagine how special it must have felt for Jennifer to have him on set with her. However, fame brought its challenges. The intense public interest in her life started making things tough for the couple. Privacy was becoming harder to protect, and the pressures of being under the spotlight began to strain their relationship. In 1998, after 3 years together, they decided to go their separate ways, keeping the breakup mostly under wraps. Jennifer's preference for privacy, even in the face of heartbreak, became a trait that she carried into future relationships. The Hollywood fairy tale and its cracks. When Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt first met, it was like Hollywood's golden boy had found his match in America's sweetheart. Their chemistry was undeniable, and by 1999, they were officially together, making headlines and setting the entertainment world ablaze. You could feel the excitement every time they made a public appearance, especially at the 51st Primetime Emmy Awards, where they walked the red carpet as a couple for the first time. Jennifer was radiant in a sparkling sequin dress, while Brad had his trademark cool vibe, complete with sleek sunglasses. It was one of those moments that cemented them as Hollywood's it couple. They were two of the biggest stars on the planet, and seeing them together felt almost like a real-life fairy tale. Fans couldn't get enough.
She's one of the warmest people I meet, and we all...
You say she's the magnet. She's
we
the
do all
firecracker.
crowd around her. She's like that fire we all crowd around for warmth. And she's, no, I'm not, this is genuine. It's truly...
Their romance only got more magical, leading to an extravagant wedding on July 29, 2000. This wasn't just any wedding, it was the event of the year, held on a cliff overlooking the breathtaking Pacific Ocean in Malibu. Only about 200 guests were cut, mostly the cream of Hollywood's elite. Brad and Jennifer spared no expense to make this a day straight out of a storybook. Brad had envisioned a serene, almost ethereal atmosphere, and he made sure it was brought to life.
Mr. and Mrs. Brad Pitt snapped just after they tied the knot. Brad Pitt's in a black tuxedo, Jennifer Aniston in a white satin silk gown.
They had around 50,000 flowers, roses, tulips, wisteria, and lotus blossoms, transforming the venue into a dreamy garden paradise. Jennifer looked like the ultimate fairy tale bride in her custom-designed glass-beaded gown by Lawrence Steele, complete with a low back that made her look both elegant and effortlessly stunning. The reception had everything, from lobster and champagne to a gospel choir that serenaded the couple, with even Melissa Etheridge performing. And if that wasn't enough, they ended the night with a 13-minute fireworks show. You could say it was the perfect start to what everyone believed would be a lasting love. After the wedding, Brad and Jennifer became the most watched couple in Hollywood. Every red carpet event, every public appearance, it was as if they were royalty. In 2001, Brad even made a memorable guest appearance on Friends, in an episode where his character hilariously despised Jennifer's iconic character, Rachel Green. It was a fun twist that had fans laughing and made for one of the show's most memorable episodes. Off-screen, Jennifer couldn't stop gushing about how Brad was her favorite guest star, which just added to the charm of their relationship. They were close not just personally but professionally, and it was clear that they enjoyed working together. But their collaboration wasn't just limited to the screen. In 2002, they decided to go even further, co-founding a production company, Plan B Entertainment, alongside producer Brad Gray. This was a big step for both of them. Brad and Jennifer didn't just want to be actors, they wanted to produce meaningful, impactful films. For Jennifer, it was important to pursue projects that had depth and substance. While they initially kept the venture quiet, not wanting it to look like a vanity project, Plan B quickly became successful, producing movies like Troy, starring Brad himself, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Their professional partnership seemed to show that they weren't just a couple in love, they were also a team with shared dreams and ambitions. From the outside, everything about Brad and Jennifer's life together looked perfect. Two beautiful, talented people building an empire, working on movies, and walking hand in hand down every red carpet. But like any fairy tale, cracks began to appear behind the scenes. As Jennifer's career on Friends was nearing its end, she started to think seriously about starting a family, something she openly expressed in interviews. Meanwhile, Brad was getting busier and taking on more intense roles, which kept him on set for long hours. Their ambitions, though aligned in some ways, were pulling them in different directions. The growing rift, Jennifer's desire for a family versus Brad's career ambitions. As Jennifer Aniston's time on Friends was winding down, she was at a crossroads in her life. After a decade of playing Rachel Green, she had built a career she was proud of and was ready to shift her focus to a new chapter, starting a family. She often spoke openly in interviews about her desire to be a mom, saying she was ready to slow down, embrace motherhood, and focus on building a life with Brad. Jennifer believed she could balance a family and career, finding happiness in both worlds. For her, this was the natural next step, and she was excited to make it happen. But hey, let's pause for a second so you can quickly subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to comment your thoughts so far. But Brad's vision for the future seemed to be moving in a different direction. His career was reaching new heights, and he was diving into more ambitious roles that often took him away from home for long periods. Around this time, he started filming Mr. and Mrs. Smith, where he was paired with Angelina Jolie. On set, Brad and Angelina had undeniable chemistry, and the media quickly picked up on it. Although Brad assured Jennifer that the rumors were just that, rumors, there was a persistent whisper of an affair. Despite his reassurances, the stories about Brad and Angelina's closeness on set became impossible to ignore. For Jennifer, who had always trusted Brad and kept her life as private as possible, this new attention was a constant, uncomfortable reminder that something in their marriage might be off. Jennifer was known for handling media attention with grace, but this was different. The spotlight on her personal life had never been this intense or invasive. Every magazine cover and every gossip column seemed fixated on her marriage, speculating whether Brad and Angelina's chemistry had crossed a line. The endless questions and assumptions about what was happening behind closed doors took a toll on her. And still, Jennifer chose to believe in her husband and stay composed, refusing to feed into the tabloid frenzy. Even as the rumors grew louder, she tried to focus on her own goals and the life she wanted to build with Brad.
Angelina, still with you, not Brad's. And she might not take you, so she might take somebody else. It's 25,000 with Angelina Jolie, and he says 30,000. Yes, you're right.
However, the more Brad's career ambitions grew, the more he seemed drawn to Angelina's adventurous and free-spirited lifestyle, a stark contrast to Jennifer's vision of settling down. Jennifer wanted stability, family, and a life away from the spotlight, while Brad appeared captivated by the idea of living life on the edge, exploring new places, and diving into challenging projects. It was as if they were both pulling in opposite directions, with Jennifer longing for a grounded life and Brad chasing a whirlwind of new experience. The final split and media frenzy.
Do you guys still talk? You and Brad?
We've exchanged good wishes and all that sort of stuff to each other, but it's not a constant thing.
By the time Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt announced their separation, the world was already buzzing with speculation. In January 2005, they released a joint statement through People magazine, and the tone they struck was surprisingly calm and dignified. They emphasized that the decision was made with mutual respect and love, and that it wasn't the result of any speculation or rumors swirling around at the time. It was a classy move on their part, clearly meant to minimize drama and protect their privacy. But, as you might expect, the media went into overdrive, dissecting every word of that statement and questioning if Angelina Jolie was the real reason behind their split. Not long after the announcement, photos surfaced that seemed to confirm what many had already suspected. Brad had moved on with Angelina. There were shots of Brad, Angelina, and her young son Maddox on a beach in Kenya, looking every bit like a new family. These images were everywhere, and for Jennifer, it had to be like ripping off a bandage before the wound had even begun to heal. She had put on a brave face, hoping to deal with her heartbreak privately, but suddenly, it felt like her whole life was on display for the world to judge. The media frenzy didn't stop there. The world couldn't get enough of the Brangelina saga, and unfortunately, Jennifer was caught in the middle of it all. For her, this wasn't just a story. It was her life, her marriage, her dreams of a family, all unraveling in public. But Jennifer handled it with a quiet strength. In September 2005, she opened up in a rare, candid interview with Vanity Fair, offering a glimpse into the real, raw emotions she was feeling. She admitted to feeling lonely, confused, and even embarrassed by the turn of events, describing the roller coaster of emotions that came with losing a marriage she had invested so much in. It was one of those moments where fans saw Jennifer not as a Hollywood star, but as a person with real, painful emotions. She confessed that she had her moments of anger, hurt, and embarrassment, but she wasn't going to let herself be consumed by bitterness. Jennifer's vulnerability in that interview was both heartbreaking and admirable. She spoke about the sadness and the struggle, but also about her determination to find meaning in the pain. She wasn't interested in blaming Brad or Angelina or getting caught up in a revenge narrative. She just wanted to heal. She even showed an almost astonishing grace toward Brad, acknowledging that, yes, he had hurt her deeply, but that didn't erase the good memories they had shared. Rebuilding after heartbreak. Jennifer's resilience.
The obsession, the world, the internet, everyone is waiting. They're hoping for this moment where you and Jennifer run into each other so they can take their picture.
I'll run into Jen. She's a good friend. Yeah, so they can... So
You know how.
After her split with Brad, Jennifer Aniston faced an emotional mountain to climb, but she didn't let heartbreak define her. Enter Vince Vaughn. He was her co-star in the breakup, and it didn't take long for their on-screen chemistry to spill over into real life. Vince wasn't just a fling. He became a source of laughter and light during one of the toughest periods in her life. Jennifer even referred to him as her defibrillator because he brought her back to life in a way. With Vince, she felt a refreshing sense of fun and freedom, two things she desperately needed to help her process everything she'd been through. Their romance wasn't meant to last forever, but it served a vital purpose. Vince helped her see that life could go on, that laughter could come back, and that there was still joy to be found, even after heartbreak. Then came her relationship with John Mayer, and this one was a bit more complicated. John was younger, and their on-again, off-again romance became a hot topic in the tabloids. While it didn't have the stability Jennifer might have been searching for, their relationship revealed her desire to find a deeper connection in a chaotic world. John was incredibly talented and charming, and despite the ups and downs, Jennifer found herself drawn to him. However, their different lifestyles and the age gap created hurdles they couldn't quite overcome. In many ways, their romance highlighted Jennifer's continued struggle to find solid ground post-divorce. The relationship ended for good, but it was another experience that taught her more about herself and what she truly wanted in a partner. And then, years later, came Justin Theroux. Jennifer's relationship with Justin was a breath of fresh air from the start. They met on the set of Wanderlust in 2011, and unlike her previous high-profile relationships, this one began quietly. There wasn't an immediate media frenzy. Instead, they built a genuine connection away from the limelight. By 2012, they were engaged, and 3 years later, they surprised everyone with a private wedding at their Bel Air home. The ceremony was intimate, cleverly disguised as a birthday party, which allowed them to celebrate their love without the usual media circus. With Justin, Jennifer seemed to have found a partner who respected her desire for a quieter, more grounded life. Brad's regrets and Jennifer's truth about motherhood. Years after their split, Brad Pitt reflected publicly on his past, and he admitted to some regrets about how things ended with Jennifer Aniston. In an interview, Brad shared that he felt dissatisfied with his life during the 1990s and said he was struggling to find meaning, which led to choices he wished he'd handled differently. When he mentioned his lack of interesting life, people quickly jumped to the conclusion that he was blaming his marriage to Jennifer. The backlash was immediate, and it pushed Brad to clarify. He never meant to imply that Jennifer was dull or uninteresting. He praised her as an incredibly loving and hilarious woman who remained his friend, emphasizing that his dissatisfaction was about his own life, not their relationship. This moment was one of the few times Brad openly expressed his regrets and acknowledged that his actions may have caused Jennifer pain. Jennifer, however, carried her burden of misconceptions. For years, the tabloids spun stories that Brad left her because she didn't want kids, painting a picture of her as a career-focused wife who chose fame over family. This narrative followed her relentlessly, and it hurt her deeply. Finally, in 2022, Jennifer decided to set the record straight. She revealed that she had indeed wanted children and had gone through a difficult, often heartbreaking journey with IVF treatments to conceive. She confessed how painful it was to constantly hear that Brad left because she wouldn't give him a kid. For Jennifer, the speculation had been especially painful because it wasn't just untrue. It touched on one of the most personal struggles she'd faced. But while fans may have been hoping for a real-life rom-com, Jennifer made it clear that things weren't heading in that direction. In interviews, she's been candid about where they stand, firmly stating that she and Brad are just friends. She has emphasized that while they care for each other and support each other's successes, their relationship is no longer romantic. Jennifer's openness about this is a testament to her self-respect and emotional maturity. She's been careful not to let anyone, not even the media, turn her into a character in a fairy tale that doesn't exist. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.